So we've had a request from a couple of our followers on YouTube, and they've been asking about our wheel and tire package that we're running on the Bronco, and they're also asking what suspension we're running. So let's go ahead and talk about how I'm fitting 37s on the Bronco. So we run a Falcon suspension on this, and it is the Falcon 3.5-inch lift for 37s. They have a Falcon lift for 35s as well. It's a 3.5-inch lift. But on the 37s, from what I understand, is when they mount these to the lower control arm, there's a different bolt that allows for the suspension to sit in there where it won't hit the back of a tire. These wheels and tires are a 17-inch 8.5 with a 4.75 backspace. You can see there. And this is a 0 offset. There's the coil that we're running. This is a 3.5-inch lift. We did do the JKS big tire clearance delete, so there's no crash bars on here. There's 0 rub. Now with our front bumper, this is a turn off-road bumper, and you can see there's tons of clearance there. So we're not rubbing on anything, and we can basically go full lock. I don't get any scrubbing on the back here. I'll show you the fender liner is fully intact. It's not modified or cut, and we're not rubbing at all. It's a perfect offset for this suspension. We do have the ready lift upper control arms that come with it. We're running a Yokohama Geolander MT G3, and it's a very aggressive tire for the trail. This is a daily driver. We have 65,000 miles on the Bronco, and I love these wheels. They literally grip on anything. They're pretty good for MT for, wet terrain, especially driving on the highway. I've had other tires that are not so great, but these ones do pretty well. Now we're running, like I said, a 17-inch wheel with a 0 offset. One of my favorite features of the FXH wheel is the valve stem. As you can see there, it's recessed into the wheel. So when you're climbing across rocks, that valve stem's not being hit. I've had some Black Rhino wheels previously on the Bronco, the blue ones, and I broke valve stems constantly. This one, so far, I've done pretty well with. I do have some, damage on some other wheels on the other side of the Bronco where I have rub rocked. There are scratches in these wheels. We do off-road them. But these wheels are made in Dayton, Ohio in the US. They're made by Forge Line and Hearthrop. Hearthrop is from Australia and Forge Line is from Dayton, Ohio. These are awesome wheels. I really love them. They give the Bronco a really nice stance. Show you the back here. Get a couple of side views. Now this is the non-Sasquatch, so that's the narrow flare. And you can see there's just a little bit of poke. Again, this is a 0 offset wheel. We have all of the wheels. Try to show you that wheel protection I'm talking about. You can see where we've rubbed up against a rock, but I'm not worried about that valve stem breaking. There's a nice lip here. This protrudes out a little bit, and then this one's flush. So it gives that valve stem a lot of protection. So this is a 3.5-inch lift, and it is set on that 3.5-inch setting. Comes preset from Falcon. But that's how we're fitting a 37 1250 on here. Probably could go to 13 if I had to. We typically run on the trail anywhere from 10 to 15 pounds of air when we air down. I'm running about 37 pounds of air as a daily. But I think that big tire delete definitely helps with getting this big tire in here with no rub. You will have to cut the frame to cut that crash bar off. As you can see, that's the new mount. Everything just bolts on there. You have to jack up the body a little bit when you're doing this install, but I think it's worth it. If you have any questions about the lift and the tire package, please put those comments down below. And like always, like and subscribe, share with your friends. If you want to see some content on the channel, put it down in the comments below and we'll try to shoot that content for you. We'll see you on the next one. So I almost forgot. The viewer wanted to see how much fender space we had between the tire and the fender. So that is a 12-ounce can of beer, and that is a paint can lid off of a spray paint can. And as you can see there, we still have some clearance. You know, obviously that clearance is going to shrink when the wheel's compressed, but like I mentioned before, I'm not having any rubbing issues at full compression. So there it is. That's how much. As it's just sitting, you could probably run 38s on this pretty easy. 40s might be pushing it, but that's the clearance we have.